I heard Asia Wilson, Sha'Carri, Sabrina, Sabalenka. Oh, that's right. I didn't hear Caitlin Clark's name. That's why we don't jump for joy when Nike does one good thing. Oh, one good thing. Nike's Nike at the end of it. There's a reason why their stock has been crashing.
Nike has done it again, and Caitlin Clark's fans are not happy. One of the biggest sports brands in the world just left out one of the most talked about basketball stars, not once, but twice in their latest ad. Fans aren't letting it slide, calling out Nike for the snub and questioning if it was a mistake or something more. Social media is buzzing and the backlash is real. Let's dive into what went wrong and why people are so fired up.
Now with Nike, they're listing out the names of this. And of course, who do they ignore? The number 22 out of Indiana.
Nike is at it again, this time leaving out a name everyone expected to see. In their latest WNBA ad, released right after the Super Bowl, a primetime, high-stakes moment, they somehow ignored Caitlin Clark, the biggest star in women's basketball. Fans can't believe it. How does one of the top sports brands keep making the same mistake?
But now Nike put out how they really feel about Miss Clark. Let's take a look.
You want to know what I'm selling? I'm selling greatness. Asia Wilson, 3-time MVP. We got Jordan Childs, we got Juju Watkins, we got Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay. And we got Arena Sabalenka.
Champion.
Hustling is not easy, but I love it. Sabrina, I know you want a tea.
Let's talk about who did make the cut. Sabrina Ionescu, sure, solid choice. Juju Watkins, she's got potential. Aja Wilson, no surprise there, she's basically Nike's top star. But Caitlin Clark, nowhere to be found. And that's what's really shocking. Let's be real. Caitlin Clark is the biggest reason women's basketball is getting this much attention. She's shattering records, drawing NBA-level viewership, and yet Nike somehow forgot her? It just doesn't add up.
That stood out among the Caitlin Clark fan base is them not mentioning Caitlin Clark's name at all in this whole damn ad. Now, one person said, why wasn't Caitlin Clark's name said? Another person said, they don't say Caitlin Clark's name in this ad.
This isn't the first time Nike has downplayed Caitlin Clark. They keep treating her like just another player when, in reality, she is women's basketball right now. Meanwhile, Juju Watkins, no shade, she's a promising young talent, is getting major Nike promotion even though she hasn't made the kind of historic impact Caitlin has. And then there's Aja Wilson. Nike keeps pushing her as the face of the WNBA, and while she's a great player, she's not drawing the kind of attention Caitlin is. At this point, it's hard not to wonder, why does Nike keep overlooking the biggest name in the game?
Promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that also included her own signature shoe, which honestly, looking at it now, $28 million for 8 years is an absolute steal for this superstar.
Indiana Fever games are about to sell out in every city. Fans are literally camping outside arenas just to see Caitlin Clark play. When was the last time an Aces Road game had that kind of buzz? Nike really thought they could slide by with this one, just throw in a few names, add some highlights, and call it a day. But no, people do care. This is like making an NBA ad and leaving out Michael Jordan or an NFL promo without Patrick Mahomes. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player, she is the moment. She's inspiring young girls to pick up a basketball, selling out jerseys to grown men, and getting entire networks to rearrange schedules just to put her games in prime time. And yet, somehow, Nike still left her out.
How dare you put out a commercial with Caitlin Clark's merchandise saying everyone's name but Caitlin Clark? My dad could watch that commercial 75 times. He will only know Sabalenka's name. My wife will watch that commercial 75 times and she'll say, they're really gonna show Caitlin Clark's shirt and not mention her name? Oh, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yet somehow, Nike, one of the biggest sports brands in the world, decided Caitlin Clark wasn't worth a spot in their new campaign. Make it make sense, because at this point, it just doesn't. Nike might as well admit it. They have a Caitlin Clark agenda. Just say it. Yeah, we're weirdly committed to making sure Caitlin Clark doesn't get too much shine because we'd rather push our hand-picked stars instead. Just be honest. But here's the thing, fans aren't dumb. We see what's happening. And if Nike doesn't want to embrace Caitlyn, that's fine. Someone else will. And when her jersey sales explode, when her WNBA games break records, and when she becomes the biggest name in basketball, Nike will have to live with the fact that they had the chance to get it right. And they fumbled again.
So Nike has decided to release a congratulations to Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year shirt in what I think could be possibly the worst designed t-shirt in Nike corporate history. No, but look at this. I've worked with designers before. Like, this is bad. It looks like they had some intern just like quickly mock something up in like PixArt, but really, they put the Nike swoosh in the middle of the O sort of thing, like overlapping some.
I don't know if Nike execs are living under a rock or if they just enjoy making terrible business decisions for fun. The players they featured in the ad, great talents, no doubt, but do they sell out every arena they step into? No. Do they have TV ratings skyrocketing like Caitlin Clark? No. Have they single-handedly made people who never watched the WNBA suddenly care? No. So why is Nike acting like Caitlin Clark is just another player? At this point, I'm convinced they're allergic to good marketing. Her jerseys sell out instantly. Her games are packed. Her impact is undeniable. And Nike's response? Promote players who don't even move the needle like she does. Who does that? Let's be real, Nike has been shady toward Caitlin Clark for a while now. Meanwhile, they're handing out endorsement deals to players who couldn't even fill a high school gym, all while pretending the most marketable athlete in women's basketball doesn't exist. Nike could have been printing money off Caitlin Clark merch, but instead, they're doubling down on a marketing strategy that makes zero sense. Whoever's running the show over there needs a serious reality check.
Ticket sales, and we've talked viewership. Now let's talk about regular season viewership, not draft viewership. Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. So between draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%, between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%, between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%.
If Nike ran the NBA back in the day, they'd ignore LeBron and hype up a guy averaging 6 points a game. Meanwhile, Under Armour and Adidas are just watching Nike fumble, ready to sign Caitlin Clark themselves. And let's be real, Nike's excuse that she hasn't signed with them. Please, why would she? That's like going to a party where the host pretends you weren't invited. Nike isn't making some big social justice statement. They're just being petty. The truth is, Caitlin doesn't need Nike. She doesn't need their hype, their fake activism, or their approval, and that's exactly why they're mad.
As far as the shoe deal goes, there doesn't seem to be one in sight just yet. And timing is everything. Like, who knows what's going to happen with the new rookie class coming in, Paige Beckers, Kiki Ariaffin. This was the year to do.
Did Nike really think they had us fooled with that Super Bowl ad? Like, we'd all sit there and say, wow, look at Nike supporting the WNBA. No, we saw it, rewound it, squinted at the screen, ad asked, wait, where's Caitlin Clark? Yeah, she got maybe 3.5 seconds minus 4 if you count a blink, while Nike rolled out the red carpet for everyone else. Be serious. Caitlin Clark could sneeze and sell more jerseys than half the league combined, yet they treated her like a background extra. Let's be real, put a Caitlin Clark jersey next to an Aja Wilson jersey. One will sell out instantly, crashing Nike's website, while the other sits collecting dust. And it's not just about Aja. Compare Caitlin's sales to any WNBA player. Fever tickets are suddenly worth Super Bowl prices for one reason, and she's wearing number 22 in Indiana. Next voice, next voice.
So this has been called the biggest marketing fumble in history. And I mentioned in a previous video, I did work for marketing agencies, and I worked for an agency where Nike was our client. So I know how on top of things that Nike is. And this is one of those things that I personally just did not understand, because the excuse was that it takes all this time. And I do understand how it takes time, but LeBron James, he had his shoe in his rookie year. Steph Curry with Under Armour, he had his shoe, I think, within a year. So I'm not sure what the difference is.